The global marketplace is going to expect any player to understand a little bit about where the other players are coming from. And that key awareness of the possibilities that perspective will be different is going to make the difference between the players who win and the players who lose.
Certainly my students coming to the automotive program need to recognize is that they are going against the world to get their jobs.
I worked at Oracle Corporation, very notoriously multinational corporation. I was a document specialist, and I saw firsthand a global, very diverse workplace. And I used to go to meetings where there would be 12 team leaders sitting around the table, each from a different country, different ethnicity, different accent, different religious background. And I tell my students that what's out there, what's ahead, is very diverse, and it's globalized.
I had a graduate who called me who was working at a large company that deals with off-road engines, and he called me and he said, "I have a problem." And I said, "Okay, how can I help you? What's your problem?" He said, "I got a promotion," and I at that point, failed to see the problem, and he said the promotion comes with a move to Germany for 2 years, and he was quite up in arms that this promotion, even though it was a promotion with a pay raise, that he would have to go over to Germany and live there for 2 years. I couldn't express to him enough what a tremendous opportunity that was.
Globalization, I think, is educating people more toward the last job, more toward going into management and that type of job, at least for people from technology. We tend to focus more on the first job, I think, right now, and we're proud of that. But I think getting this in people's minds, being able to think big, what's happening to this world, where are the opportunities, I think that's very important for us. It's no longer, well, I'll quit high school, go down to Detroit, get a job in the car factories, and retire when I'm 48 and come back up north and fish the rest of my life. That's not there anymore.
When students come into my classroom, they tend to be afraid, at least some of them, especially in Michigan, of words like globalization and outsourcing. They sometimes define globalization to mean something like, I'm going to lose my job to somebody in China. But every principles textbook in the second chapter explains the advantages of trading with other countries and buying products that are produced by foreign workers. And I think that understanding would go a long ways towards allowing them to see the advantages of globalization.
When I read about globalization, what I read are people saying that it's about exchange, commercial exchange. And I suppose in some value-neutral way, that's really what it is. But as a sociologist, when I think of globalization, I often think of the flip side, the bad side, and that would be those relations that are developed between rich nations and poor nations, where the rich nations, quite frankly, exploit poor people. Even something that's often viewed as a positive, which is the spread of culture, I don't necessarily see that as a positive. Culture would be all the ways of acting, thinking, and feeling that are transmitted from one culture to another, or one generation to another. I don't necessarily believe that it's good that we transmit our ways of acting, thinking, and feeling to other nations. I consider it misfortunate that we are telling the stories that many children are listening and repeating in other nations. So I see that as a negative.
To an extent that is unparalleled in recent American history, not always in a nice way, but nevertheless in a very definite way, we are opening America to people who were not born here and who are not from European cultures. At the same time, and that may be the genesis of this film and this project actually, at the same time, we have an opportunity and a need to adjust ourselves to that reality, to the reality that around the world the globe is coming knocking on our doors, and we just can't stuff cotton in our ears and say we're not at home. Globalization, as I said at the beginning, is not something that's going to go away. It's here and it's now, and it's a good thing that it's here, but we have to change the way that we have lived and thought for hundreds of years.